Secret Society of Second Born Royals is the brand new Disney Plus, also produced by Disney Channel, original movie which came out today, Friday, September 25th. The film stars Peyton Elizabeth Lee, Niles Fitch, Isabel Blake Thomas, Noah Lomax, Olivia Deeble, and Skylar Astin, and tells the story. It follows Sam's adventure at a top secret training program for a new class of second born royals tasked with saving the world. This movie is PG and is 1 hour and 37 minutes. Welcome back to Matchbox Movie for a brand new Disney Plus original movie. Once again, before I get into my full review, I'll tell you my positives, my negatives. I'll give you my score as well. Before I do get into this review of Secret Society of Second Born Royals, please let me know in the comment section before I start. Let's start a good conversation in the comment section. Have you seen this movie? If you have, let me know. Did you like the movie? Did it feel like a Disney Channel film? Is this one of your favorite Disney Plus movies you've seen, or is it on the bottom tier of your movies? Tell me, do you like the cast, performances, blah, blah, all that types of stuff. But also tell me and also if you haven't seen the movie, tell me, are you going to check this one out this weekend? And did you see the trailer? Tell me your excitement level for the movie. And let's get into this non-spoiler review. So I was pretty nervous heading into this movie. I saw the trailer whenever it came out. I feel like months ago, the trailer came out, and I was nervous for this movie. Now, I've actually been a big fan of the Disney, not a big fan, but I think the Disney Plus has done a really good job with their original films. I've seen every single Disney Plus original film dating back to last year when the Disney Plus came out. And they had 3 released last year, and this is their already 7th this year. So I've had pretty good, a lot of their movies have looked like Disney Channel movies and trailers, then they pleasantly surprise me and give out a good movie. So I was hoping this movie would fall into that category. Now, overall, guys, I actually think this cast does a really good job for what they're given. I think Peyton Elizabeth Lee is okay, fine in the lead role. She gets better throughout the movie. I think really it's the script that really damages her in the first act of this movie. She's very bratty. The fact she just hates everything about royalism. You know, she's a second-born. Her mom's a queen. Her sister's about to become the queen because she was firstborn. So she's a lot of bratty. She has a friend who isn't a royal at all, and they have a pretty great relationship. But then they have to go to summer school, and that's where they get trained by Skylar Astin, and she joins 4 other kids who go to the same high school for their summer school, and they're all second-borns, and they all find out that they have superpowers. So this movie is, out of all the Disney Plus original films that we got, this is the 10th one. This movie also it is produced by Disney Channel. This does feel the most like a Disney Channel movie. The movie that I actually really thought of that this reminded me of was Sky High. I think this will be the Sky High for this generation. I obviously grew up with the Spy Kids Sky High era, and a lot of kids, I think, who were my age when I watched Sky High and Spy Kids are going to grow up with this franchise. Honestly, it kind of feels like that. Now, there aren't that, compared to Sky High, I mean, Kurt Russell is in Sky High, so there aren't those high-profile actors in this movie. Skylar Astin is probably the most profile actor in this movie. But the group of kids actually have really good chemistry with each other. Skylar Astin also does a really good job being the professor for the kids. He's really energetic, and his character is really fun to watch on screen. He is not in the movie as much as you would think for being the most high-profile actor in the film, because it really is about Sam for the most part. But once you get into the superhero stuff, all the kids become friends, and you understand where they're coming from. They're really good. Again, the cast does a solid job of what they're given, and I actually think the plot is pretty clever for a kids movie. The fact that they live in this society where royals are like the leaders of society, and there's this whole secluded area where it's all royals, but all the firstborns are all becoming these big time royals, and all the second ones are kind of being thrown inside their second place, really, and they don't really feel like they have a place in society because they're second born. They're not going to be able to do anything because their siblings or parents are the ones in charge of everything. So they feel like they're in second place, which is actually a really clever plot, which definitely kept me invested throughout the whole runtime. And each one has their own distinct story on why they're there. One of them is very talkative. He's just very annoying. He thinks he's so full of himself. Another kid feels like he's always invisible. He's never sat at a table with friends before at this high school. So they all are going, and one of the other girls is also she's an Instagram, I guess, famous person. She has like millions of followers. So they have all the certain cliches from kids' movies kind of thrown into this movie. And again, the movie really tries, this movie is trying to be a good superhero, and I think it does the best it can because, you know, in general, I'm not the biggest fan of this film. And I think that a lot of kids, but I do think it will have its fans. So obviously, I think it will have its fans. The cast is really, really good. But again, that will have to transition me into my negatives of the movie. And now this is definitely one of the more cheesy movies that you'll probably see all year if you're not a kid. This might be a good family movie, but if you're just an adult, I probably wouldn't recommend this movie. It's very cheesy. As I said, a lot of these plot lines you've seen in a billion kids movies before, and probably better done than this movie does. One of the worst parts about the movie is this villain character. And once you learn about, I'm not going to reveal anything here in spoilers, but there's it's not a twist. You'll find out what the villain's motive is in the movie. And it's very predictable. You can kind of see it coming a mile away. And they kept cutting back to the villain in like the first hour of the movie. And there was just no development. They just showed him, so you knew he was the villain. This movie tried to give him as much screen time as possible, but he felt very out of place. And every time he came on screen, you actually wanted to go back to the kids because the villain was just so weak in the movie. Now, I don't know what the budget is for this movie, but they must had nothing because this has probably out of all the movies I've seen this year, this is easily the worst CGI I've seen in a movie in 2020. The CGI is god awful in this movie. I couldn't believe how bad it was. Now again, because they have superpowers, one person has like bugs, like kind of not Ant-Man, but he can control bugs. One person has a power of just talking to someone, and that's how you tell them that's a power. So one has crazy senses, like stuff like that. And it seems like this movie needed a better budget for this movie to work. It's tough to get invested in this movie at times in the action scenes because the CGI is so terrible, especially when you see someone going down an elevator to the secret layer, it looks very fake. This movie looks really, really fake. And you can tell that this movie didn't really have a big budget, which isn't the issue with the director. It's the issue with the script for giving these characters such superpowers where they need that much really good CGI. And then you give them the powers and there's not enough CGI to help these guys out really in general. And that's a big issue. It pulls you out of the movie because obviously it's superheroes, it's not real, but it really makes you pull out. It makes you feel like you're watching a cartoon. Like at times it felt like it was a mixture of a cartoon and a live action at the same time. And that is not what this movie was going for. I actually think I would have probably given this an above average score if the CGI wasn't that bad. But it's pretty much unwatchable and one of the worst CGI I've seen in a movie in a really long time. As I said, it was kind of a mix it looked like a mix of animation and live action people, but it wasn't. That wasn't the point of the movie. So, and again, it's very cliche. And then once you get to the end of the movie, I'm not spoiling anything, but of course it's going to set up a sequel. Superhero kids movies on Disney love to get sequels. And it seems like this movie is destined to get a sequel based on if it's watched a lot. So again, my opinion of the movie is it didn't kill me. It's not one of the worst movies that you'll see all year. The cast is actually really charming for the most part, really out of that first act. Once you get into the second act and the real superhero stuff starts to really begin, that movie really picks up and flies by. Again, it's only an hour and a half, so it's not really going to kill you or anything. But as a whole, it's not one of the best Disney Plus movies you'll get. It's in my bottom tier of Disney Plus movies. But again, this is only the second one that I'm going to rate below average. So again, this might be younger kids at Sky High. If you're a parent out there watching this review, I would highly recommend giving your kids a look at this movie. But if you're just an adult probably and you want to check out a movie this weekend, this might not be the one for you. So overall, guys, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5 stars, a 40%. Again, I was really creeping on average to above average, but the CGI was unbearable. The villain was awful. And a lot of the movie is way too cheesy, and they throw all the kids' cliches in there at one time. But again, as I said, it's not one of the worst movies of the year. It's not on my bottom 10 or even bottom 15 of the year. So it's not going to hurt you that much by checking this one out. And I heard a lot of people actually have enjoyed this movie. Again, I have some enjoyment in this movie, but I do have its issues. Before I end this video, once again, I'll tell you where to find more videos. You got to hit that subscribe button, like the video, share, comment, do all of those things. Ring the bell for notifications because this channel has been really, really busy as of late. Tomorrow morning from 11 a.m. to noon Pacific, and you can please watch me and my friend Joe Bond. We're going to go live on YouTube for an hour. We're going to be ranking our top 10 favorite Star Wars villains, movies, and TV combined for one. Then this upcoming Monday, I'll be doing my spoiler review of Lovecraft Country episode. I think we're at 7 now in Lovecraft Country. You can check out all my past reviews as well on this channel. And obviously the next week, I have a new Netflix movie coming out on Wednesday. I'll do my spoiler review and non-spoiler review of Raised by Wolves because the season finale is coming on Thursday. So there's a lot coming down the pipe here on Max Talks Movies. And also, by the way, because October is about to be done, this upcoming week, I'll be giving you my full ranking of all the movies, including this one, from the month of September that I checked out. Once again, thank you guys for checking out this movie review. I'll see you in the next one.